Every day we are given 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. But why is it that some people seem to achieve so much more in the same amount of time? It's not because they work harder, it's because they work smarter. They don't just manage their time, they master their energy, focus, and mindset. The most productive people don't wake up and let the day happen to them. They design their days with intention. They understand that productivity is not about doing more, but about doing what matters most. Most people begin their day with a to-do list. But the most productive people, they start with a question, why am I doing this? Every task, every action must align with a greater purpose. Productivity without purpose is just busyness. And busyness does not lead to fulfillment. A productive day doesn't start at 9 a.m. It starts the moment you wake up. Whether it's movement, meditation, or mindful planning, highly productive people prime their minds and bodies for success before the world demands their attention. Distraction is the enemy of progress. Successful people don't fill their schedules with things that don't serve their mission. They say no often and unapologetically so they can say yes to what truly matters. Time management is a myth if you're constantly exhausted. Productivity is about managing energy. They take breaks before they need them, move their bodies and fuel their minds with the right inputs because an exhausted mind is an unproductive one. At the end of each day, the most productive people ask themselves, what worked? What didn't? What can I improve? They treat each day like an experiment, refining their systems and growing a little better every single day. Every single day we wake up with choices. Some people wake up and immediately check their emails, scroll through social media, or dive into tasks without a second thought. Others wake up with purpose, intention, and clarity. They don't just go through the motions, they lead their day instead of letting their day lead them. And that's what sets highly productive people apart. Imagine two people with the same to-do list. One starts their day by tackling tasks immediately, bouncing from one thing to another, feeling busy but never truly moving forward. The other takes a moment before starting to ask themselves a fundamental question. Why am I doing this? Not just what needs to be done, but why it matters, the difference. One person is operating on autopilot and the other is driving with purpose. Purpose is the foundation of productivity. Without it, work is just a series of motions, meetings, emails, deadlines without meaning. But when we understand why we're doing something, we tap into something deeper. It's not just about checking tasks off a list, it's about progress, about contribution. It's about moving towards something bigger than ourselves. Think about the most productive people you know. They don't just work hard, they work with a clear sense of direction. They don't get lost in the noise of daily tasks because they filter everything through a lens of purpose. If something doesn't align with their bigger vision, they don't waste time on it. That's not just smart time management, that's intentional living. There's a famous story about a man walking by a construction site. He sees 3 workers laying bricks and asks them what they're doing. The first man says, I'm laying bricks. The second says, I'm building a wall. But the third man looks up with a sense of pride and says, I'm building a cathedral. 3 people doing the same job, but one sees the deeper purpose. And guess who is the most engaged? The most productive. The most fulfilled. It's the one who sees beyond the task to the bigger picture. The most productive people in the world don't just start their day with a to-do list. They start with a why list. They understand that every task, every action must connect to something bigger. Because when you have clarity of purpose, your work has meaning. And when your work has meaning, productivity is no longer a struggle, it becomes a natural outcome. Purpose doesn't just make us more productive, it makes us more resilient. Think about it when you don't have a clear reason behind your work. Every challenge feels like a burden. The moment things get tough, it's easy to get frustrated, lose motivation, or give up. But when you're driven by a strong purpose, obstacles become part of the journey. You don't quit because you know what you're working toward. The struggles don't break you because the mission is greater than the momentary difficulty. Take any great innovator, entrepreneur, or leader, they didn't achieve success because they had a perfect plan. They achieved it because they had a purpose so strong that no setback, no failure, no challenge could derail them. They didn't just wake up thinking, what do I need to do today? They woke up thinking, how does what I do today bring me closer to my mission? Now, let's talk about you. How do you start your day? Do you begin with urgency, rushing to check emails, responding to notifications, or handling whatever is most pressing? Or do you take a moment to reflect, to ask yourself why today matters, and to align your actions with your bigger vision? Because here's the truth, if you don't take control of your day, someone else will. Your inbox, social media, the demands of others. If you don't set the direction, the world will set it for you. And that's how days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and suddenly you wonder where the time went. This doesn't mean every single task will feel exciting or deeply meaningful. Let's be real, there are always parts of our work that feel mundane. But even in those moments, the most productive people connect the dots. They understand that even the small, tedious tasks contribute to the bigger mission. A world-class athlete doesn't love every workout, but they show up because they know it's part of becoming the best. A musician doesn't love every hour of practice, but they do it because they're committed to mastery. And this is where mindset matters. Highly productive people don't let the small, routine tasks disconnect them from their purpose. They find ways to reframe them. Instead of seeing them as chores, they see them as stepping stones. Instead of focusing on the task itself, they focus on what the task enables them to do. If you want to be truly productive, don't start your day with a to-do list. Start it with a why list. Write down your big vision. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and let that be your compass throughout the day. Because at the end of the day, productivity isn't about how many things you do. It's about how many meaningful things you do. It's about making progress on the things that truly matter. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, don't just ask yourself, what do I need to do today? Ask yourself, why does today matter? Because when you start with purpose, productivity follows. The way you start your day determines how the rest of it unfolds. Some people wake up and immediately dive into their phone, scrolling through social media, checking emails, and reacting to messages. Others hit the snooze button repeatedly, delaying the inevitable start to their morning, hoping for just a few more minutes of rest. But then there are those who treat their mornings as sacred, as the foundation upon which their entire day is built. These are the people who don't just wake up, they rise with intention. They understand that how you begin your morning dictates your energy, focus, and momentum for the rest of the day. Highly productive people don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't wake up and hope to be productive. They design their mornings to ensure they will be. It's not about having the perfect morning routine. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, it's about creating a set of habits that prepare your mind and body for success. The first few moments of the day are crucial. When you wake up, your brain is in a highly impressionable state. If the first thing you do is flood it with external noise, emails, social media, and news, you immediately put yourself in a reactive mode. Instead of setting the tone for the day, you allow the world to dictate your mood, your focus, and your priorities. This is why highly productive people are intentional about what they do first. They don't start their day responding to other people's demands. They start by setting their own direction. One of the most powerful things you can do in the morning is to create space for clarity. This could mean taking a few moments to reflect on your goals, journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in silence before the chaos of the day begins. When you give yourself this space, you're not just waking up physically, you're waking up mentally. You're giving yourself the opportunity to decide what kind of day you're going to have before external influences try to decide for you. Many of the most successful people in the world swear by morning routines. They don't see them as a luxury, they see them as a necessity. It's not about having a long, complicated routine. It's about having habits that set you up for success. Some start their day with exercise, knowing that movement wakes up the body and mind. Others start with reading or journaling, using the quiet moments of the morning to gain insight and perspective before diving into work. Some plan their day, setting clear priorities so they don't waste time figuring out what to do next. It's not the specific habits that matter as much as the intention behind them. The key is to do something that grounds you, something that gives you control over your morning instead of letting your morning control you. When you start with intention, you create momentum. And momentum is everything when it comes to productivity. Think about the difference between starting your day in control versus starting it in chaos. Imagine waking up and immediately feeling overwhelmed, rushing to get ready, checking your phone, stressing about the day ahead. Your mind is already scattered before you've even started working. Now, imagine waking up with purpose, moving through your morning with clarity, taking time to set intentions and preparing yourself mentally and physically for the day ahead. The difference isn't just in how you feel in the morning, it's in how you perform throughout the day. The most productive people know that their mornings don't just affect the next hour, they affect everything that follows. A strong start creates confidence, focus, and energy that carries through into meetings, tasks, and decisions. A chaotic start leads to distraction, fatigue, and stress that lingers throughout the day. Another critical aspect of a productive morning is protecting your energy. Your willpower and focus are at their highest in the morning, which means that how you use those first few hours is crucial. If you spend your mornings on low-value activities, checking emails, browsing social media, or engaging in unimportant conversations, you're wasting your most valuable mental energy on things that don't move you forward. Highly productive people guard their mornings carefully. They use them for deep, meaningful work, the kind of work that requires focus and creativity. This is why so many top performers prioritize their most important work early in the day. They don't wait until the afternoon when decision fatigue sets in. They tackle their biggest priorities when their mind is sharpest. If you've ever noticed how much harder it is to focus later in the day, this is why. Your brain, just like your body, has a limited amount of energy. When you start strong, you make the best use of it. Of course, this doesn't mean that mornings have to be rigid or stressful. In fact, the best morning routines are flexible. They aren't about perfection, they're about consistency. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. or follow a routine that works for someone else. What matters is that you have habits that work for you, habits that allow you to enter your day feeling prepared, focused, and in control. For some, that might mean waking up early to exercise and clear their mind. For others, it might mean spending time reading or journaling. The key is to find what helps you feel your best and to do it consistently. When you take control of your mornings, you take control of your life. A strong morning doesn't just make you more productive, it makes you more intentional. It shifts your mindset from reacting to leading. And when you lead your day, you don't just get more done, you get more of the right things done. The truth is, productivity isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And the smartest thing you can do is start your day with purpose. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. Every day we are bombarded with distractions. Emails, messages, social media notifications, meetings, requests from colleagues, endless streams of content, each one pulling our attention in a different direction. It's easy to feel like we have to do it all, say yes to every opportunity, and be available for every request. But the truth is, the most productive people don't achieve more by doing everything. They achieve more by focusing on what matters most. And to do that, they master the art of saying no. Saying no is not about being difficult or dismissive. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. Every time you say yes to something, you are, by default, saying no to something else. The problem is that most people don't realize this. They agree to meetings that add no real value. They take on tasks that don't align with their goals. They commit to projects out of obligation rather than strategy. And before they know it, their days are filled with activities that keep them busy but not necessarily productive. Highly productive people understand that time is their most valuable resource. Unlike money, which you can earn back, or skills, which you can develop, time is the one thing you can never get more of. Once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. That's why they protect it fiercely. They don't let other people dictate their schedule. They don't feel guilty about turning down opportunities that don't serve their bigger vision. They know that every yes has a cost, and they choose wisely. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to say no is because they don't want to disappoint others. We all want to be helpful, to be seen as team players, to maintain good relationships. But constantly saying yes to avoid discomfort often leads to something far worse: overcommitment, stress, and burnout. Ironically, saying yes to too many things makes you less effective at all of them. You spread yourself so thin that you're unable to give your best to the things that truly matter. Saying no isn't about being selfish, it's about being strategic. It's about recognizing that in order to be truly valuable to your work, your goals, and even to the people around you, you need to prioritize. The most successful people don't take on everything, they take on the right things. They focus on work that aligns with their strength, their mission, and their long-term vision. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, has a famous rule. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Think about that. It's not that they lack opportunities. It's that they have the discipline to turn down anything that isn't essential. They don't chase every opportunity, they choose the ones that align with their mission. When you start saying no, you take control of your time. You stop reacting to every demand and start leading your own schedule. And that shift is powerful. Because when you say no to distractions, you create space for deep, meaningful work. You allow yourself to focus on tasks that require creativity, strategy, and full engagement. You stop being pulled in 100 directions and instead move forward with clarity and purpose. But saying no isn't just about external distractions, it's also about internal ones. It's about saying no to procrastination, no to perfectionism, no to the fear that holds you back from taking bold action. Because distractions don't just come from the outside world, they come from within. The most productive people don't just guard their time from others, they guard it from their own tendencies to overthink, to hesitate, to get lost in busy work instead of focusing on what truly moves the needle. There's an art to saying no effectively. It doesn't have to be rude or abrupt. In fact, the best way to say no is with respect and clarity. If someone asks for your time or commitment and it doesn't align with your priorities, you can say something like, the ability to say no also extends to your personal life. Think about the social obligations, favors, and commitments that drain your energy without bringing real fulfillment. It's easy to say yes out of habit, to go along with things just because we feel expected to. But what if you started being more intentional? What if you reserved your energy for the people, activities, and experiences that truly enrich your life? When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you make room for what does. You have more time for deep work, more mental space for creativity, more energy for the things that truly matter. You become more present in your work, more engaged in your relationships, more in control of your time. And here's the most powerful part: when you start saying no, you set a standard for how others treat your time. You show that you value your priorities, that you respect your own boundaries. And in doing so, you teach others to respect them too. Most people think productivity is about doing more. But in reality, it's about doing less of the things that don't move you forward, less of the things that drain your time and energy, less of the distractions that keep you from your true potential. So the next time you're about to say yes out of obligation, pause. Ask yourself, is this truly important? Does this align with my bigger goals? Will this help me make meaningful progress? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to say no, not with guilt, but with confidence. Because when you master the art of saying no, you give yourself the freedom to say yes to the things that truly matter. Productivity is often equated with time management, and while time is undeniably a key factor, it is not the only one. The most successful people understand that working longer hours doesn't necessarily lead to better results. In fact, working for extended periods without proper rest or focus can actually lead to burnout and decreased performance. Instead of managing time, they manage their energy. They recognize that their ability to perform at their best is directly linked to how well they manage their physical and mental energy throughout the day. By prioritizing energy rather than just time, highly productive individuals ensure that they remain sharp, engaged, and efficient in everything they do. When we think about productivity, we often imagine cramming as many tasks into our day as possible, trying to multitask, or working through every available moment. The temptation is to push through fatigue, believing that if we just work harder and longer, we will achieve more. But this mindset is not only inefficient, it's also unsustainable. The human brain and body are not designed for endless, uninterrupted focus. They need rest, recovery, and balance in order to perform at their highest level. A productive day isn't just about checking off as many boxes on a to-do list as possible. It's about using your energy wisely, ensuring that you're operating at peak performance when it counts most. The concept of managing energy over time is rooted in understanding that different tasks and activities require different levels of focus, emotional investment, and physical exertion. For example, a creative brainstorming session or a problem-solving meeting requires intense mental energy, while routine administrative tasks may require far less mental exertion. Knowing how to recognize the type of task you're doing allows you to approach it with the appropriate level of energy. It's about understanding your own rhythm and working with it, not against it. The first step in managing energy effectively is recognizing your natural energy peaks. We all have times during the day when we feel the most focused and energized. For some, this might be in the early morning after a good night's sleep. For others, their peak energy might come in the afternoon or late evening. Highly productive people pay attention to when they are most alert and use these periods to tackle their most important, challenging tasks. Conversely, when energy dips, they schedule less demanding activities like answering emails or handling routine administrative work so that they can continue to make progress without draining themselves. It's also crucial to manage physical energy. Physical activity plays a significant role in how we feel and perform throughout the day. Highly productive individuals incorporate movement into their routines because they understand that the body and mind are interconnected. Exercise, even in small doses, has been shown to increase blood flow to the brain, improve concentration, and boost overall energy levels. A short walk, stretching, or even a few minutes of exercise can help reset the body and mind, ensuring that you stay sharp and productive throughout the day. Rest and recovery are equally important, which is why highly productive individuals make time for regular breaks, sleep, and relaxation. They understand that rest isn't a luxury, it's an essential part of maintaining high performance. Without sufficient sleep or downtime, their energy levels will inevitably drop and productivity will suffer. Nutrition also plays a critical role in energy management. Highly productive individuals are mindful of what they eat and drink because they understand the impact that food has on their energy levels. A steady intake of nutritious food throughout the day ensures that the body has the fuel it needs to operate efficiently. They avoid sugary snacks and overly processed foods that lead to energy crashes, and instead focus on balanced meals that provide sustained energy. Hydration is another key factor. Dehydration can cause fatigue and reduce cognitive function. So staying hydrated throughout the day is vital to maintaining energy levels. Mental energy management is equally important. Highly productive people understand the need to maintain a positive and focused mindset, which can be just as draining as physical exertion. Stress and mental fatigue can diminish focus and productivity, so they actively practice techniques to manage mental energy. This might include mindfulness practices, meditation, or simple breathing exercises that help them stay calm, focused, and grounded throughout the day. They also know when to step back and take breaks from mentally demanding tasks in order to recharge their focus. Taking regular mental breaks prevents burnout and helps them return to their work with a refreshed perspective. One of the most powerful strategies for managing energy is creating routines that align with your natural rhythms and energy patterns. Successful people often establish daily habits that support their physical and mental energy. They wake up early, start the day with a routine that includes movement or reflection, and structure their day around their natural high-energy times. They prioritize tasks based on their level of energy, tackling high-priority, high-focus tasks when they are most alert, and saving routine or low-energy tasks for times when their energy naturally dips. In this way, they ensure that their energy is being used in the most efficient and productive way possible. Time blocking is another effective technique for managing energy. By dedicating specific blocks of time to particular tasks or types of work, you can ensure that you are focused on one thing at a time, reducing the mental drain of constantly switching between tasks. For example, you might set aside 2 hours in the morning for deep work tasks that require high focus and creativity, and then take a break for lunch and physical activity before diving into a lighter task in the afternoon. By breaking the day into distinct energy blocks, you allow yourself the necessary time and space to recharge and stay focused on the task at hand. Another important aspect of managing energy is learning to say no to distractions and activities that deplete energy without contributing to your goals. Productivity isn't just about doing things, it's about doing the right things. Highly productive individuals don't waste time and energy on tasks that don't align with their long-term goals. They guard their focus by saying no to distractions that could pull them away from what matters most. This requires discipline and self-awareness, but it also helps preserve energy for the activities that truly move the needle forward. It's clear that energy is a far more valuable resource than time alone. The ability to manage both physical and mental energy is the key to sustaining productivity and achieving long-term success. When we learn to work in harmony with our natural rhythms, take care of our bodies and minds, and remain focused on the most important tasks, we become not only more productive, but more resilient in the face of challenges. By shifting the focus from time management to energy management, we can unlock a higher level of performance, leading to greater fulfillment and success in both our personal and professional lives. In an age where distractions are everywhere and multitasking is often seen as a virtue, the ability to focus is a rare and highly valuable skill. The most productive people are not those who are constantly switching between tasks, but rather those who master the art of deep, uninterrupted focus. They understand that focus is not just about concentration, it's about creating an environment and mindset that allows them to fully immerse themselves in the task at hand, without letting external or internal distractions pull them away. Focus is the gateway to high performance, and the most productive people know that the ability to direct their attention effectively is the key to achieving exceptional results. The first step in developing focus is recognizing that distractions are inevitable. It's not realistic to expect that we can work in an environment free of interruptions. In fact, studies show that we are interrupted or distracted every few minutes, whether by external factors like emails or phone calls, or internal factors like wandering thoughts or the urge to check social media. The challenge then is not to eliminate distractions entirely, but to manage them effectively. so that they don't derail our productivity. The most productive people are skilled at creating systems that minimize distractions and allow them to focus for extended periods on their most important tasks. One of the most effective ways to improve focus is through the practice of time blocking. This involves setting aside specific blocks of time during the day to focus solely on one task or group of tasks without allowing interruptions or multitasking. Time blocking works because it helps you structure your day in a way that aligns with your natural focus cycles, allowing you to give your undivided attention to one thing at a time. During these blocks, the goal is to be fully present, dedicating all your mental and physical energy to the task at hand. The idea is to make the most of your most productive hours and to create a sense of urgency and intention around your work. Another key element of focus is creating an environment that supports concentration. Our surroundings have a profound impact on our ability to focus, and the most productive people take deliberate steps to ensure that their workspaces are conducive to deep work. This might mean eliminating clutter, turning off notifications, or setting boundaries with colleagues or family members. For some, this may involve using noise-canceling headphones or playing background music that helps them concentrate. For others, it might mean working in a space that is free of distractions, whether it's a quiet office, a library, or a co-working space. The goal is to create an environment where your attention is not constantly being pulled in different directions, and where you can immerse yourself fully in the task at hand. In addition to controlling your physical environment, mastering focus also involves managing your mental environment. Our minds are constantly bombarded with thoughts, worries, and ideas that can pull us away from the task at hand. This is where mindfulness and meditation come into play. Many of the most productive people incorporate mindfulness practices into their daily routines because they understand that cultivating awareness and presence can significantly enhance focus. By training the mind to remain present in the moment, you can reduce mental distractions and improve your ability to stay engaged with your work. Regular mindfulness exercises such as deep breathing or meditation can help to calm the mind, clear mental clutter, and refocus your attention. But mindfulness is not just about meditation, it's also about how you approach your work. When you adopt a mindset of mindfulness, you become more aware of where your attention is at any given moment. You learn to notice when your mind starts to wander, and you develop the skill to gently bring your focus back to the task at hand without judgment or frustration. This practice of mindfulness can be particularly helpful in situations where distractions are unavoidable, such as when you're in a meeting or working in a noisy environment. By staying mindful of your attention, you can prevent distractions from derailing your focus. Another important aspect of focus is eliminating the temptation to multitask. Multitasking is often seen as a valuable skill, but research shows that it can actually reduce productivity and impair cognitive function. When we switch between tasks, our brains need time to recalibrate, which means that we lose valuable time and energy every time we make a switch. The most productive people understand that true focus comes from dedicating their full attention to one thing at a time. Instead of trying to juggle multiple tasks at once, they prioritize the most important work and give it their undivided attention. They recognize that multitasking may give the illusion of being productive, but it actually leads to shallow work and decreased performance. To foster deep focus, it's also important to recognize the value of rest and recovery. Focus requires energy, and our ability to focus for extended periods is limited. That's why taking regular breaks throughout the day is essential for maintaining high levels of concentration. The Pomodoro technique is one popular method for managing focus and rest. This technique involves working for a set period, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. After several cycles, you take a longer break to recharge. The idea is to work in bursts of intense focus, followed by brief periods of rest to prevent mental fatigue. By incorporating regular breaks into your schedule, you give your brain the opportunity to recover and maintain its ability to focus for longer periods of time. Another way to maintain focus over the course of the day is to practice the art of saying no. Distractions often come in the form of other people's demands on our time and attention. Whether it's a colleague asking for help, a phone call, or an unexpected meeting, interruptions can easily derail your focus. The most productive people know how to set boundaries and protect their time. They understand that in order to stay focused on their most important tasks, they need to be selective about what they say yes to. They don't allow others to dictate their schedule or distract them from their goals. Instead, they prioritize their own work and make sure that they are in control of their time and attention. Focus is also a matter of clarity. When you have a clear sense of what you need to accomplish, it's much easier to stay focused on the task at hand. Highly productive individuals know how to break down large projects into smaller, more manageable tasks. They focus on one task at a time, and they avoid the temptation to jump from one task to another without completing the previous one. This sense of clarity gives them a roadmap to follow, and it helps them stay on track when distractions arise. The final element of focus is commitment. Highly productive people are committed to their work, and they understand that staying focused requires discipline and determination. Focus isn't something that happens by accident. It's something that you actively cultivate. It requires making a conscious decision to direct your attention toward the task at hand, even when it's tempting to check your phone or get sidetracked by other tasks. It's about taking ownership of your work and dedicating yourself fully to the process, rather than seeking immediate gratification or jumping from one task to another. In conclusion, the most productive people are those who have mastered the art of focus. They understand that focus is not about working harder or longer, it's about working smarter by eliminating distractions, structuring their environment and schedules, and developing the mental discipline to remain engaged with their most important tasks. Focus is the key to deep, meaningful work. And it's the skill that allows highly productive people to achieve exceptional results. By managing your focus and creating systems that support it, you can unlock your true potential and take your productivity to new heights.